HIE, three letters that can change your baby's life forever. If you've seen the phrase on your app, "What is HIE?" babies pop up, that's not just going to be a coincidence for you. The algorithm is suggesting it on my page because so many parents are searching for answers with all of this. And the algorithm has determined that I provide quality and insightful information on this topic. Parents who are new here, they will often ask me the same thing, but they'll ask it in their own words because they're just beginning to process their baby's HIE diagnosis. And my page is dedicated to babies with HIE brain injuries and the discussions that surround these types of issues from a medical legal standpoint. So if you're hearing these words for the first time, HIE, it can be actually terrifying. And so let's talk about that this morning, what HIE really means, how it can happen during labor and delivery, and why it's going to matter for your baby's future. HIE stands for hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. That's what it means. It's a type of brain injury that's going to be caused when a baby does not get enough blood and oxygen flow. And this can happen in some cases before birth. But it also can happen during labor and delivery, and when every minute is going to count. Some babies with HIE, they can recover with few to no long-term issues with it. But for others, the severity of the brain injury can be key in determining lasting challenges, which can include, in some cases, CP. Now, it's important that you know that not every child that has HIE will go on to develop CP, but the degree of the oxygen deprivation and the brain damage plays a major role into what you should expect with your baby. During labor, one of the main ways in which doctors and nurses monitor your baby is going to be with what's called the electronic fetal heart monitor. And this is going to be a device that's going to track your baby's heart rate, and it's going to give clues as to whether your baby is stressed or if your baby is losing oxygen. But the monitor only works if it's being read correctly and the medical professionals are acting appropriately based on what they're seeing. When warning signs are missed or they're misread or they're ignored, a baby can lose oxygen for too long, and that's how you can get an HIE brain injury. To see how all of this works in real cases, let's consider a mom who's attempting a TOLAC, a trial of labor after a C-section. In a case that we have recently reviewed and we filed a lawsuit on, the fetal monitoring showed warning signs that were missed. We had medical experts to review it, and they determined that had the medical team recognized and acted on these warning signs, the baby could have been delivered hours earlier, well before mom suffered the uterine rupture. Situations like this show how closely monitoring and timely action can, in some cases, prevent serious brain injuries like HIE. And all of this from a medical legal perspective, there are common failures that I can see in the cases that I review that repeatedly will show up. Sometimes you'll have the medical team, they don't notice or they don't respond to concerning patterns on the fetal heart monitor. Sometimes there is a delay in calling for help or getting an emergency C-section when it's needed. Each of these types of delays can increase the risk of a permanent brain injury like HIE, which is what we're talking about today. Now, with all of that said, hospitals and medical providers, they're going to have defenses. They're not just going to roll over and agree with this. They may say that the injury happened before the baby or even arrived at the hospital, or that the injury was caused by genetics. Sometimes they'll also even suggest that the mother was refusing sound medical advice or was unwilling to consider a C-section. They were hell-bent on having a vaginal delivery. These are used to shift responsibility away from the medical team. And that's why a birth injury investigation with all of this is going to be so important. Investigations involve reviewing all, of the prenatal records, the labor and delivery records, analyzing the monitoring strips, consulting with multiple experts to determine what happened. Now, not all HIE cases are going to be medical malpractice, but some of these cases could have been prevented if proper monitoring and timely action had been taken. And I want parents to also understand something with costs with all of this. Our firm is not going to charge you any money up front to do an initial investigation into all of this. Not every law firm is going to work that way, but we believe with all of this that families should be able to get answers that they need with all of this without having to worry about cash. When your baby has been diagnosed with HIE, the consequences of all of this, they can last a lifetime. And families deserve to know, in my opinion, they deserve to know whether medical malpractice played a role with all of this. And that's why thorough investigations are the only way that you can get clear and reliable answers with everything. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and if you have any other questions about your baby's HIE brain injury at birth or a subsequent CP diagnosis from a medical legal standpoint, don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. You can find out more information about me in my profile. My information is there. If you're watching this video on certain types of apps, you can send me a DM and we can chat a little bit about your baby story, or you could just wait and watch the picture that follows the end of this video. All right, that's going to be it for this morning's quick educational video. I've got a full day today, got to talk with some medical experts, and I have some case reviews, some records and case reviews to do. So that's going to be it, guys. Have a great day.